Hello financial programmers, welcome back to the third video of Dhan API playlist. And as I promised in the last two videos, in this video we are going to cover the entire Python library to automate your trading practices, right? If you remember, I already mentioned about what is Dhan API and how to access the entire Dhan API and how to get the access code, right? In this video, we are going to see the DhanHQ Python library that we will use to automate our trades. If you remember in the last video, I showed you this particular screen where I told you about pip install DhanHQ, right? And this is the way we will be installing the DhanHQ Python library into our Python platform. In this video, I am going to use Google Colab as my Python platform. You can just write it on Google Colab, and this screen will open in front of you. So yeah, in order to install this library, just copy this, right? Click on this button. This will automatically copy pip install DhanHQ. Go here and paste it here and shift enter, right? If you shift enter or run it from this button, then it will automatically install the DhanHQ library. That's it. You don't need to do any manual stuff here. Now let's go down to this particular website, and you'll see that it's pretty much clear how to use different types of functions. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to place buy and sell order and automate your trades, right? So I'll just go to the documentation of Dhan. Both these links are mentioned in the description box. You can just click on that and come to this particular URL. And here, if you click on the left hand side orders option, you'll see this particular function, which is Dhan.placeOrder, right? This is the most important function of Dhan API because this is used to trigger buy or sell order using the Dhan API, right? So this is the code Dhan.placeOrder, place_order, and then data. What is the data? This is the entire data that we are going to input in this particular code. So I'll just copy it by clicking here, copy to clipboard. I'll copy it and come back to this one, right? This is the function that I'm going to use. But before that, we will have to authenticate. We'll have to log in Dhan's account and use the access code that we mentioned in the last video to place this order, right? So I'll just keep it down here. Or let me just do one thing. Let me just insert some lines of code by clicking on the code button. So I'm importing actually DhanHQ from DhanHQ. You just need to write from DhanHQ, all lowercase letters, import DhanHQ, right? This is how we're importing the DhanHQ library in order to automate our trades, right? My client ID is this one and the access token is this one. So if you remember in the last video, I mentioned about how to get the access code. This is the access code. I copied it here like by clicking on this button and then came back to the Python code. I pasted here, right? So my client ID is mentioned here. It will be different in your case. The access code is this one. This access code can actually be made, I would say, it can have a validity. So in this case, I'm actually having it for 7 days and I can delete it anytime, right? Which I will do just after recording this video. So yeah, I come back to this one. Now I'll have to authenticate using client ID and access code. Which can be easily done by using DhanHQ function and then providing client ID and access code as inputs, right? If I run this particular cell, if you remember, by pressing shift enter, right? This is how we run any particular cell in Google Colab or in Jupyter Lab, etc. So it will run this cell. If you see what is Dhan, it is basically authenticated, and now we can use Dhan's API very easily. Okay, perfect. Now let's come back to the function that we have written previously. I'll just directly come here, right? Okay, so I'm placing the order This tag is not required. Transaction type is dhan.buy. I'm buying something. Exchange segment is dhan.NSE. We can do it BSE as well, but in this case let's just do NSE. Product type is dhan.intra. I'm doing intraday trade. Order type is dhan.market. It can be limit. Validity is day. Security ID is 1333. In this case HDFC, I'll change it to SpiceJet for example, and I'll show you how to get the security ID for different stocks, right? Quantity is say 1, right? And then other things are, it can be actually kept like this only, you don't need to touch that. So let me just go to the documentation again, and here you'll see the description of all the different inputs that we have provided. The first one is transaction type, right? Are you buying or are you selling, right? If it's a buy order, you just need to write BUY in capital letters, right, in uppercase. Exchange, in this case I'm using NSE, right? As I mentioned, you could see you could use BSE as well. Intraday trade, right? Market order, validity is just day, it's not delivery. In this case you can make it delivery as well. Security ID is that number, if you remember, 133 something. So in order to get this security ID entire Excel file or entire database, you just need to click on the refer, and then here there's a link over here. If you click over here, this Excel file will get downloaded, right? Now here, this is the third column is basically the security ID. Now let me just go here and say just write it SpiceJet, right? And let me do find all. So there are the 4 results that I've got for SpiceJet. I'll have to select the NSE SpiceJet, right? Yeah, so I think this is the one. Perfect. So this is NSE, right? Equity. This is the script code, so I'll just copy this particular code. There's equity, SpiceJet, and perfect. So I'll just copy this one, which is 11446. I'll come back to the code that we have written. I'll write it over here, right? 11446. It belongs to SpiceJet. If it is something else, for example HDFC, you can search HDFC Bank over there and you'll see a different security ID for HDFC Bank. Let's come back to the other parameters that we have provided. Quantity, number of shares for the order. Let's do just one share for this example. Price, it is a required parameter. Basically, if you are placing a market order, you don't need to write any particular price. You just mention price is equal to 0, right? If it's a limit order, then you'll have to mention the price that you would like to consider while buying or selling that particular order, right? So because I'm doing the market order, I'll keep price equal to 0, which I have done if you see in this example, right? And the other things like trigger price, and these are the conditionally required arguments. You can keep them as it is, you don't need to do anything over there. So let's come back to the function that we have created here. If we run this cell, yes, it has actually placed a buy order. It's a success order, right? You can note down the order ID for your reference, right? And yeah, it's done. So this is how we place the buy order. Now we are using a different function here to get to know if the order is placed or not, which is dhan.getPositions, because we have to see that the order has been executed, which is actually the case in this particular scenario. The status is success, right? And we can see SpiceJet is already placed. So our order is already been placed, and I am right now holding 1 share of SpiceJet. And this is the real actually buy order that I have placed on SpiceJet, right? Now, how to sell this particular share, right? As I mentioned in the beginning, it's an intraday order. I can definitely sell it today itself, and it will be considered as an intraday order only. So I'll copy that function and paste it over here. I'll keep everything exactly the same, just I'll change this to dhan.sell. As simple as that, right? The exchange is also the same, which is NSE, Dhan.NSE. It's an intraday trade as well, Dhan.intra. Market order, I'm not preferring any limit order in this case. Validity is day, security IDs is also exactly the same because I'm trading SpiceJet in this example. Quantity, just one because I hold just one SpiceJet share, and I'll just shift enter this particular cell and you'll see that yes, it is also being executed and I've sold this share that I've bought a minute back. So yeah, it's as simple as that. You just need to use this particular function to buy or sell any particular stock. Very important points to note here is you should always keep an eye on the exchange that you're using, which is NSE or BSE. You should always focus on whether you're buying or selling. You should like provide it over here. It's a market order or a limit order, and the last but most important thing is you should always double check the security ID, because this is something which will directly be used in this particular code, and the stock which refers to that particular security ID will be bought or sold. So yeah, that's it in this video. In the next video, we'll be talking about how to place stop loss, target price in any particular order, because in this case there's no stop loss, there's no target price. We'll also see how to extract the trade book so that you can extract the entire transactional information of what you have done in that particular day or like in different days. So yeah, that would be the motive for the next video. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Investments in the securities market are subject to market risk. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.